Mm-hmm.
Yep.
What is up, brothers? Friday night with the bros on Bros and Beers. We are Nick and Ron, and we have another guest appearance tonight, Jalvin Conson. Bros, how you doing tonight?
Doing great. Doing great. Can't wait for another exciting weekend of football.
I'm doing pretty good.
Hopefully get some more offense this weekend.
How are you, bro, Mixon?
Bro Mixon. He's not even going to play this week. You got to come up with a better one than that.
Mm-hmm. How you doing, bromosexuals?
Bro Namath?
Limval Broseph.
Greg Broseph. As far as a game plan for today, we're going to give you a little bit of a preview towards Sunday night, or I guess all of Sunday. We're going to go over our starts of the weeks, and we're going to review last week's starts. As far as last week's starts, so we're going to, every week we're going to give you an update on how we did the previous week, and we're going to tell you whether we hit or not. And here's our criteria for whether we hit. If a quarterback in 6 point per passing touchdown leagues won over 20 points, that's a hit. Running back or wide receiver, if they won over 15 points, that's a hit. Tight end, we're doing 10 points in PPR, and a defense is 10 points as well. Me personally, I had a better week, much better than week one. I was 3 for 5. So Herbert was a bum. Pollard was a bro. Godwin was a bro. Parkinson was a bum. And Pittsburgh defense was a bro. Ron, how'd you do?
I did not fare as well as you did. I was 2 of 5. I had Justin Fields as my quarterback start. He was a bum. I don't think he was terrible, but he did not do as good as I thought he was going to do. J.K. Dobbins was a bro. Xavier Worthy was a bum. Juwan Johnson was a major bum. And I had Chargers defense against Carolina. They were some bros.
Hey.
So yeah, looking to do a little better this week. Room for improvement. And let's talk about our breakouts too, because let's do breakouts and hot takes as well.
Sure.
Because my breakout last week was Marvin Harrison Jr., who had 1 catch for 4 yards in week 1, broke out for 4 catches, 130 yards, and 2 touchdowns this week. So big week for him, and I'm pretty sure he did like all that in the first half, and still could have had a touchdown catch. There's another one that hit him in the hand that he probably should have caught, but we won't talk about that. And then my hot takes, I had Justin Fields going over 100 yards rushing and 2 rushing touchdowns. He didn't get anywhere near that. But my other hot take was Vikings upset San Francisco at home, which happened.
SKOL.
Can I get a SKOL chant, Jalvin?
SKOL.
Yeah, baby.
I did 2 at once.
Yeah, baby. What about your breakouts and hot takes?
So my breakout was Tyler Johnson, and he did nothing. Bum. My hot takes, though. So Jordan Mason goes over 100 yards and a touchdown. I know he had 100 yards. I don't think he had a touchdown against the Vikings.
He did. He did have a touchdown and 100 yards. Both of your hot takes hit this week.
Hit them both, and then Atlanta bounces back and upsetting Philadelphia. So 2-0. I'll take it. To focus on this week, though, starts of the week, we're going to do it a little different. So Ron and I have our starts of the week. Jalvin's going to join in. He's got some starts of the week as well.
Yeah. Hey, should we also do a little recap of the beer we're drinking tonight?
We can do some beer.
Just for anybody that didn't get to see it earlier, because we've been live streaming for a while, but we've done a couple different videos.
Let's do it. I mean, hey,
I think it would be good. This
What's
is
tonight?
Bros and Beers.
What's
This is
tonight?
Bros and Beers, and this is Friday night with the Bros.
Friday night with the bros.
So,
All right.
uh,
I'll start us
You go.
off.
do it up.
Local. We need to switch that audio, so it's heck of a play by Nick and Ron. Local
Yeah, right.
beer,
You want Collinsworth to do a cameo for you? I'll pay for it if you give me the money.
just 30 grand.
No, but it's
Yeah,
probably
right.
like 500.
I'd pay it.
It's enough. That's
Do you
for
guys
sure.
want to know a fun fact?
Sure.
I love fun facts.
Do you know Catch a Predator, the show?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Chris Hansen.
He's in prison, isn't he?
Somebody bought a cameo for Chris Hansen for Michael. You know which Michael, because he got kicked out of a game, and somebody paid Chris Hansen to get him unbanned from a game. A cameo, like
What?
Wow.
it was Chris Hansen talking about Michael on a video. Hello there. Why don't you have a seat right over there? I heard that this guy was banned from this video game. Talking about. I'll send you the video.
Yeah,
I'd
put it
love
on
to see
Discord and we'll take a look. The beer I'm drinking tonight, though, is Liftbridge Mango Blonde. It's local to St. Paul, Minneapolis, home of the breweries ever. Just look it up. It's a mango, just mango heaven. If you like mango and you like good beers, it's 4.75% alcohol. Perfect for watching football all day. Ron, what are you drinking?
I am drinking a Surly Brewing Company Oktoberfest. This is the first time I've actually had this. I do like Surly. They are another local brewing company. And I love Oktoberfests. I don't think there's been an Oktoberfest from any
If you could, would you go to Germany?
beer company. If I could,
Yeah.
I think anybody would.
I mean,
I don't know.
over the Caribbean or something like that, would you choose Germany?
Well, that wasn't the question. You said, "Would you go to Germany?" Like, of course
Well,
I'd go
like
to
if your
Germany.
next
but
trip,
if
if you had to, if money wasn't an issue, time was an issue, you could pick a place. Would you go to Germany or would you go to someplace warm? We're getting close to October.
Somewhere more tropical for sure. I'd rather be. I'd go sit on a beach and do nothing but drink and lay in a beach chair all day. Sounds like more.
The wife and I are actually
Yeah.
going to someplace warm in 3 weeks for a whole week. And I'm
Someplace warm, huh?
She doesn't know yet, so it's a
Oh.
surprise.
Oh,
Sort of.
shnikes.
I mentioned the name of the city, but she didn't. I think she knows, but she might not. We'll see. She might just be playing it off. So give me some brownie points. Jalvin, are you drinking some beer tonight, or what are you doing?
I'm drinking some Sprite Zero. Unfortunately, I'm out of beer.
Sprite Zero. If you want to get the taste without all the extra stuff,
Oh,
drink
no.
Sprite Zero.
You're out of beer?
Jalvin, you don't
found
live
the-
far from me. I can give you some beer.
I could walk over. I found the video if you guys want to watch it. It's like a minute long.
Which video? Oh,
Of Chris.
we'll
Let's
watch
do
it later.
Let's do it after we're done.
Yes.
Sounds good. Tune into the stream.
Yes.
Tune
We're
into the
live
after
on
show
Twitch.
on our
And
Twitch live stream.
Bros
If
and
we're done
beers.
streaming, go back to the VOD
Mhm.
of the stream because I have an hilarious video coming up.
Oh, of Ron and I'm guessing.
Oh, no, unfortunately not.
Oh.
You do not want to be in
Okay.
this guy's video.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Wow.
then that makes me happy.
Great. As far as our starts, Ron, you want to start us off with our quarterbacks? Who you got?
Yeah, I'll start us off. I picked this guy mostly because I think he's got a really good matchup, and he's kind of had a slow start to the year so far this year. But I'm going with Joe Burrow, and basically saying, like, don't give up on him yet. I know it's been a rough couple of weeks for Burrow and the Bengals, but I think he's got a bounce back / breakout game this week. Going up against Washington, who's given up over 250 yards a game. They've given up 6 touchdowns through the air through 2 weeks. They made Daniel Jones look good last week, and we all know how I feel about Daniel Jones. Not very high on him. And in week 1, they got destroyed by Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think this is a bounce back / 2024 breakout game for Joe Burrow. I think he gets on track, getting his playmakers the ball against a weak Washington defense. I got him as a mid to low QB1. Hopefully Higgins can play. But yeah, Joe Burrow, my QB start of the week.
I think if Higgins plays, that'll help.
Absolutely.
Washington's pass defense is atrocious, so
Right. Not good.
we'll see. My start of the week is Brock Purdy going against the Rams. Last week alone, the Rams gave up 260 yards, 3 touchdowns to Kyler. Majority of that was in the first half, so he could have went for 400 potentially. The 49ers did just lose Debo, but he still has Kittle and Ayuk, and they still have a great run game. He's got a good offensive line. I could see them running a lot, but that's more so the second half. I have Purdy throwing 3 touchdowns and 270, which would put him at low to mid quarterback 1. So yeah, he's, I think, 11th for me this week. But yeah, I think the 49ers are going to blow out the Rams. Jalvin, who's your start of the week for quarterback?
So I tried to go as deep as I could to give some people that have difficulties this week, like people who lost Tua, or owners of people like Lawrence and Caleb.
People are struggling.
Or even people that have quarterbacks that are against like tough defenses, right? So this guy has really good weapons around him, and he's going to sling it better than the starting quarterback of this team, who's Bryce Young, and you know who the starter of the week, which is dirty to say, but Andy Dalton. I'm comfortable starting him this week because I think about the fact that he actually has some weapons, and they don't really have that good of a run game. So I think it's a win-win for him. Either he plays better than Young, he gets some confidence, and he actually boosts some energy into this offense, or they fall behind, he's going to have to chuck it, right?
Garbage time.
So you could even argue that Deontay Johnson's is a good sleeper this week. So we'll see. I'm for sure starting him in a Superflex league, you know?
Oh, God, yeah. He is a seasoned vet who's been around for a long time, and I think the Panthers have a decent wide receiver core between Johnson, Thielen, who he's our boy. We love Thielen. Leggett. Yeah. Ron, show it off. Adam Thielen, the true Minnesota boy. So I can't argue with that start. We'll talk more about this game in a little bit. Ron, who's your start of the week as running back? I suppose I should mention, we do try to, and Jalvin mentioned it as well, we do try to dig deeper. We're not going to be talking about Patrick Mahomes. We're not going to be talking about Bijan Robinson. We're trying to figure out players that either A, you can stream, or you might have like a couple of these RB2s, 3s on your bench, and you got to figure out who to start. So, Ron, who is your start of the week at the running back?
My running back start of the week is a guy who's had kind of a slow start to the season so far, but I think this is another candidate for a bounce back game playing against a bad team, Zamir White. I think a lot of people expected more out of him coming into the season. We all kind of thought he was the unquestioned RB1 coming into the season. And it's been a pretty good split so far. Alexander Madison hasn't looked like super great. I know he had the one good game receiving-wise week 1. But Zamir White, not too long ago to end the season last year, was killing defenses, running the ball on the ground, had like 4 100-yard games, and I could be wrong. It could be 3, it could be 4. Besides the point. He's going up against a Carolina team that is giving up 199.5 rushing yards per game through 2 weeks, which is absolutely ridiculous. But they're so bad that they're getting run all over. Las Vegas is going to run the ball down Carolina's throat, whether it be Zamir White getting 3/4 of the carries or whatever. I think he's going to have a great game. I think he easily gets over 100 yards and a couple touchdowns this game. Mid to high RB2 for me. And with how bad this Carolina team is, his ceiling could be even higher than that. But my running back start, Zamir White versus Carolina.
Yeah, I have him in a few teams, so I'm praying that he can be at least an RB2.
Right.
I didn't.
That's kind of what most people drafted him as their RB2, thinking he was pretty much the unquestioned guy, and he's been underwhelming so far. But I think he bounces back this week for sure.
Nick, you better hope that Madison doesn't just start playing well out of nowhere. Because
I don't think he will.
I'm just saying, if he does,
We know what
gonna-
Madison is.
didn't he have one of two good games this year? Like, pretty sure he played well in one of them.
Because he scored a touchdown, and that's pretty much it. We know what Madison is.
Madison had his chance last year in the NFL, and he blew it. My start of the week, though, for running back is who is known as B-Rob, Brian Robinson. Last week, the Bengals, who he's playing this week, gave up 149 yards, 4.7 yards per carry to the Chiefs. And Brian Robinson last week put up 17 for 133. Wouldn't be surprised to see him get 20 touches again. Hopefully average 5 yards a carry. So that puts him at 100. Could get a touchdown. He might give you 2 or 3 catches. Not much. But I got him as a high RB2. Just start him. I have him in one league, and he's my RB2 behind Derrick Henry. And I might have Robinson above Henry this week. So Washington should run the ball a ton. Eckler's not going to be any competition for that. He'll get some catches, but so yeah, that's my start of the week. Jauan, who you got for your running back?
I got a guy who, if it wasn't for one play, would have scored, I believe, as an RB1 last week. And that play was fumbling on the 2-yard line. But if he would have scored there, he would have scored as an RB1, and I wouldn't have to mention this. I'm mentioning him as a start of the week because if you only look at the box score, he only scored less than 10 points in PPR, right? So you'd be like, oh, he wasn't that good. But he was. He's going to be the offense this week, and that's Aaron Jones. Addison's out. Justin Jefferson's hurt. Hawkinson is still out. Ty Chandler's, he's young, he's good, but he knows his place. Aaron Jones looks like the same Aaron Jones that has beat up my Vikings for years and years. He looks healthy. He's getting through gaps really fast, which is like impressive for his age. And I think he's going to be what we have to use to beat Houston, right? I think he's going to get, I would say, 5+ catches. So in PPR, let's hope he gets somewhere between 15 to 17 points, 20 or more, you'd be excited. And I think he can be an RB1 any day of the week, So.
Are you worried at all about Ty Chandler, though?
No. I like the fact that Jones gets breaks. I don't care if Chandler gets.
He needs to stay healthy.
Exactly. I would so I don't have to say if. I am an owner of Aaron Jones, and I like the fact that Chandler. I like that they swap. Here's what I noticed: they do swap drives, but there were some specific scenarios where they brought Jones in as the more experienced one.
Mm-hmm. And he wasn't very expensive.
I definitely think that they could be one of the better 1-2 punches as terms of running backs in the league this year. I think KOC is using both of them really well so far, and it's proved it's proven that it's worked so far in 2 weeks. Jones definitely had a down game last week, but if these two have like, if one of them has a down game and the other one is going 10 for like 82, which I think is what Chandler did. I mean, if you use two running backs and they're getting over 100 yards and a touchdown every week, obviously that's not what we like to see in fantasy, but for real life purposes, like Chandler, I don't know.
They could legitimately be two. Like Aaron Jones could be a RB2 and Chandler could be a flex. To stay in the NFC North, Ron, who's your wide receiver start of the week?
My wide receiver start of the week is Jameson Williams. Having a breakout season so far. He is second on the team in targets behind St. Brown, and he is their downfield weapon. You talked about it earlier in another video. He's healthy. He looks good. He was drafted in the first round as a 12th overall pick. The dude can take the top off the defense. I think he does it again against Arizona. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. And I think he continues his hot start. I think Jared Goff likes throwing him the ball now that he's actually staying on the field. But yeah, Jameson Williams, he's my start at wide receiver versus Arizona.
Yeah, if you watch one of our earlier videos, we do talk about Jameson Williams and how this could be his breakout year. Mm-hmm. And it's started. I'm on the Jameson Williams train. I'm just chugging along. Jalvin, who's your wide receiver start of the week?
Oh, is it you next or me?
Let's go you. We're going to switch it up.
Okay.
Switching it up.
Yeah.
So
just keep it fresh.
This guy, I don't have a lot on this guy. This is where my nerdiness comes out, and math proves to me that I should just pick this guy. So here's a fun fact about my wide receiver. On Fantasy Pros right now, he's showing only 10.2% ownership. Okay? So he's available in 90% of leagues out there. This guy's going to get an opportunity to play a role that has always been good on this team in PPR. And this team needs a bounce back. And I think they're going to have to use this guy like the guy who's hurt. The hurt player being Debo. So my wide receiver is Jauan Jennings. I have a feeling this is a guy you can just pick up right now for free, put in your flex. Let's say he gets 4 to 7 catches. Those Debo catches where maybe he gets some plays that are designed to break away. He breaks one away. That's 8-9 points in one play. I think this is a good gamble. And if he sucks, you drop him next week. But the opportunity's there.
Yeah, and he's proven to be a good route runner with good hands. I think if he's on any other team besides San Francisco, he could easily compete to be wide receiver 2. But when you got Ayuk and Debo,
it's too much competition for him to actually start.
Yeah, it's tough to beat those two. But Jauan Jennings, you watch him play in real life and you see the things he can do. I like that pick. I think that's also a good start.
It's a free pick.
He was on our waivers.
It really is, yeah. He was on our waivers, and he's still available in like a lot of the leagues that we play in.
If you need a flex this week, that's what I'm trying to tell you guys. Is like,
yeah,
this is a free, and Dalton to a certain extent too, right? Like these are guys that you can just grab right now. And I'll be honest, moving forward, when you guys have me as a guest, I'm going to challenge myself with that aspect of like free or cheap fab pickups, because I really like A little bit about me, chat and channel on YouTube. I have the most moves of any
Manager
owner in our
ever.
league every year. So I know
By
how to move
far.
players around.
I
Yeah.
will say the one scary thing about Jennings this week is they're playing a beat up Rams team, and the Rams got annihilated last week by Arizona,
Hmm.
and this could turn into another
They could use
another
Mason a
it
ton.
could turn into another beatdown where like all San Francisco has to do is hand the ball off to Mason. Obviously, that can't be a whole game plan, but
One,
I do
Jennings
like I
could
do
be
like
part of
Jennings.
the original
Yeah, he
scoring.
could be. Absolutely. You
I think
know,
it's going to open up opportunities for him because they're going to focus on Mason.
yeah, I agree. Mason's been playing good so far in CMC's stead, but I do like Jennings. I think he's going to play well. He's a good player, and he gets to step up in that wide receiver 2 position, and I think he could thrive in that.
Hmm. My start of the week is not as controversial. He started the year pretty high, but he's had 2 rough weeks in a row. Last week was better, but my start of the week is Zay Flowers. I think Lamar is
He
gonna.
had he had a pretty good week last week.
Well, that's what. Yeah, his week 1 was rough. Better week last week, but
Sure. Okay.
Mr. Dotem in chat.
what's up, Mr. Dotem? We doing good. We're doing our starts of the week. So Dallas's
Doing
defense is not
great.
the same. They're missing Bland. Diggs he's coming off the injury. I don't think he's the same player anymore. And just last week, Shaheed and Olave ripped this defense a new one. I have him
Right.
as a high wide receiver too. He's playing at his ceiling this week, I think, because they're gonna have to put up some points. So yeah, Zay Flowers, fire him up as your wide receiver 2, which some people might have drafted him as our wide receiver 1. Highly doubtful, but if you went every other position first and saved wide receiver last, he could be. But Ron, who's your wide receiver start? Or I'm sorry, your tight end start of the week.
So the guy I picked as my tight end start has been limited in practice all week, but he kind of had a breakout game last week. I picked Mike Gesicki. Breakout game last week. He looks to be Burrow's. He looks like he's Burrow's check down guy right now. And Washington just has not. Washington just doesn't have a good defense. They like I said, they made Daniel Jones look good last week. They couldn't stop Malik Neighbors, and maybe that means Jamar Chase finally has his breakout game. But he's not ever gonna be featured in our starts because you should just never take Jamar Chase out of your lineup. Period. But if Mike Gesicki plays, Chase is a guy you game plan against. He is a guy that defensive coordinators don't want the ball to. They don't want him to
He's a
have the ball.
game ruiner.
Exactly. He's put up games where I passed on Jamar for Barkley.
I think that's smart so far.
I think if I had those 2 guys up this year, I probably would have drafted. Probably would have drafted Barkley as well. But Mike Gesicki, I think he continues to be the tight end 1 on Cincinnati if he plays. And I mentioned earlier before we started this video, because he's questionable with the calf injury and he's been limited, that I had a backup. And I know my backup is kind of a guy that a lot of people have been hoping. He had a really good rookie season. He's kind of been underwhelming ever since then. But Kyle Pitts, going against Kansas City has been really bad at stopping the tight end position this year. And I think if you're looking for a breakout from a guy that you probably drafted as your tight end 1, Kyle Pitts could finally have that game where he breaks out. So that's just my backup. Since Gesicki has that questionable tag right now. Calves are always kind of tricky. But Gesicki as my tight end start against Washington. If you need a backup, I know Pitts has been pretty iffy this year, but don't be afraid to leave him in your lineups if you got him.
Yeah, I can't really argue with both of them. I got Pitts in one league, and he has been frustrating. So hopefully he can break out this week against an easier matchup.
Right.
Jalvin, we're going to switch it up again. Who's your start for the week at tight end?
So, here's my philosophy at tight end is I'm not looking for a home run. In baseball terms, I'm looking for a first base hit. Like, I just want my tight end slot to get the 8 to 10 points. Don't hurt me, right? Like, I'm just looking for consistency. I'm looking for a tight end that's I know is going to get a handful of targets at the very least. And that tight end is Pat Freiermuth. I think, I don't know, he's always getting 4 to 6 targets. Justin Field has looked at him both games. And again, he's always, if he's healthy, he's consistent. So he's another player. Let's see what he's rostered at. Well, it doesn't matter. I'll look later, but I don't know. I feel comfortable putting Muth in my tight end spot, and just if he gets me 9 points, the rest of my team is full of players that can get those 30-40 point, games. So
30 to
that's
40,
what I'm going
huh?
with. Well, I'm not looking for a giant game out of my tight end. Is the point I'm trying to make? As long as I walk away with my 8 to 10 points in that position, I can win my.
So I got
week.
A question for both you guys. If you could pick, because you can't have a team that's fully stacked. If you could pick one position that's your weakest, what is it? Is it your RB2, your tight end, your flex? I know Ron's answer.
I mean, I'll let Ron go because I've already explained it. Mine is tight end.
Okay.
I think you can find talent on the waiver wire during the season.
Yeah, and you can stream guys too that have good matchups, and I think before the season I probably would have said running back 2, doing like hero RB. Man, but like with how
I still say that.
Yeah,
It's so nice not having to worry about tight end. And granted, Laporta's been garbage, but
I was gonna say with how bad like tight ends have been this year, it's tough. But
overall, the running back position is so volatile. So I would rather not put a lot of draft capital in it because the chances of one of them getting hurt are massive.
Oh, absolutely.
I'd rather get elite if I can get it like in a normal year, an elite tight end, an elite quarterback, 2 elite wide receivers. Like this year, I loved Zach Moss. Having Zach Moss as my RB1 right now is paying off. You have elite players. But that's a whole another conversation. We'll get into all that stuff in the offseason. Ron, I haven't done my tight end yet.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Jonnu Smith versus Seattle. Last week, Hunter Henry went off. He was a bro. 8 for 109. That was kind of a Boston accent almost. I don't think Skyler. He went off. He was wicked. He was wicked awesome.
He was wicked. He was wicked hot.
Wicked hot. Skylar Thompson's not going to have any time. Let's be realistic. Wow. So he's going to have to dump off City to Jonnu or A-Chain. But I just feel like he could potentially get 10 targets this week. He'd probably catch 5 or 6. But
wow.
I have him as a low-end tight end 1, potential high tight end 2. But I think he's just going to get a lot of targets. He was a stud in Tennessee. Start Jonnu Smith, or he might be available in a lot of leagues. But defense, Ron. Who is your? We could probably guess the 3 defenses, but who's your start of the week for defense?
My start of the week for defense is Tampa Bay versus Denver. Last week, Tampa Bay was able to shut down Goff and the Lions. We know how potent that offense is. They got weapons. Gibbs, Montgomery, St. Brown, Williams, Laporta. They held them to, I think it was 20 points. Somebody might have to fact check me. But Detroit did not look like the same offense they've been the last couple of years. Tampa Bay, and they played Washington the first week.
Mm-hmm.
So you could have called it a fluke against Washington, but they held their own against Detroit last week. Now they're going up against the Denver team that has struggled mightily on offense so far this year. Bo Nix has not looked good. Still trying to find his footing. And I just think Denver doesn't stand a chance. Tampa Bay team has been playing really good. They beat up on Detroit last week, who was a team that
Went to the
made it to the NFC
game.
Championship. Yeah, they made it to the NFC Championship last year. So yeah, Tampa Bay versus Denver. I think I've the one thing I've been good at is hitting on. Yeah. The one thing I've been good. I haven't even been talking that long. Whatever. The one thing I've been good at hitting on is whatever. The one thing I've been good on this year is hitting on defenses. But Tampa Bay versus Denver. I'd start Tampa Bay.
That was one of the teams that I thought about choosing. Jalvin, who's your defensive start of the week?
So I'm gonna give a bonus one first. If there's deep leagues like 14 or 16 team leagues with DSTs, the sleeper one is the Colts. So, and the only reason why is because they suck on defense, but Caleb sucks. So I think it's just going to be a sucky game, and you want that for your defense because hopefully you can get that 6 to 10 points. But my actual start of the week is the Chargers against Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
I looked up. The Chargers are playing good defense. It's one of the lowest. The thing obviously that I go towards every time I think about DSTs is I just look at the over under and I pick the lowest 3 or 4 games and take one of those defenses, right? Because if Vegas thinks it's going to be a low scoring game, your chances of your DST getting you more points is higher, right? It correlates. So I think there's going to be a lot of running in this game from Fields, from the running backs on both teams. And I think there's going to be a lot of field goals. But it could totally be a game that ends 15-9 or something like that. So I'm taking a DST in those type of games every time.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's tough right now with defenses because looking at my rankings for the week, it's a lot of the higher ranked, heavily owned defenses that are in the top 12. So I think the Chargers against Pittsburgh they're open. They're available in every league. My defense for the week originally was Oakland going against Carolina, and I think that's too obvious. I mean, anybody who plays Carolina is just gonna suck. I'm sorry, they're gonna dominate. So I'm gonna go with it might be a hot take, okay? I'm going with Minnesota. I think their defense is just stacked. Brian Flores has them running around left and right like madmen.
Oh,
can we get one?
We got.
Can
we get one? Can we get one?
Can we? Come on, Jalvin. SKOL. So I think this is maybe even a hot take, but I truly believe that Minnesota. Okay, my cat's acting kind of weird.
Your cats are weird, so that's not
Dude, he's
unusual.
fully stretched out right now. Cats are just a weird animal. But
Who has cats?
I think the over under is higher, and I do think Houston will put up some points. But I see Minnesota getting a bunch of sacks. Stroud does not turn the ball over, but he's
Can you guarantee me Pat Jones gets 2 sacks?
2 sacks.
Yeah.
For how little he played. You know what? Yes.
They're scheming him, dude.
Yeah, dude, and he's a beast. He's a bro. Minnesota, if you have a chance to pick them up, they are in my one league, which is standard scoring. They're 23rd overall of all players. They played San Francisco and the Giants. One good matchup, one bad. I wouldn't be surprised that even if they give up 27 points, they'll still put up 8. Like, they'll have 8 fantasy points.
There's 3 Viking players in the top 25 scoring of IDP players.
Mm-hmm.
There's 3 Vikings in the top 25.
Oh, can we guess them?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I said one of them. Pat Jones.
Van Ginkel.
Ivan
Ginkel.
Pace.
Nope.
Or Metellus.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
What? Harrison Smith?
Nope.
Sacks.
Cam Bynum?
Nope.
Sacks.
What?
Blake Cashman.
Oh, okay, middle linebacker.
He has a ton of tackles, and he's on my team, boys.
Oh my god.
Can we? I don't know about you guys. Can we agree that IDP Dynasty League, for right now, is my favorite one by far?
I think it's the best thing. It's the most fresh.
Yes.
And closest thing to
flex.
You know what it feels like? It feels like Madden, because you know how Madden you play on offense and defense?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It feels like a fantasy meets Madden, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's what I was kind of talking about when we
Should we explain
were drafting.
Nick, explain our rules, because it's important.
So we are done with our starts of the week. Okay. So here's how it works.
Here, how about this? While you explain it, I'll show my screen and
still
I'll show
gotta do
Well,
breakouts and hot takes, but let's do this quick.
let's take a second. So it's super flex, 2 running back, 2 wide receiver, 2 flex, a super flex. It's got 2 D linemen, 2 linebacker, 2 defensive back, and a flex IDP. It's got like 9 bench spots. No, 10. You've got 3 IRs and 3 taxi squads, which I think is the greatest. You can put any rookies on your taxi squad, but it's half point PPR, half point per reception, and half point for rushing and receiving first down. So it's got like everything that's new in my mind. It also has median league scoring. So if you score above basically half of what everyone else is, you get a point. If you win your matchup, you get a point. So the good teams should finish in the top, like truly good teams should finish in the top half of the league. The crappy teams, like Danny's, finish in the bottom half.
I'm 3-1, and I'm second in total points. And I have in a dynasty league.
Ron is 0-4.
I think I have the strongest wide receiver core. Can you guys let me ask you a question? Dynasty, Garrett Wilson, Malik Neighbors, Rashee Rice. I think that's just. I'm feeling so good about that.
I think I have CeeDee Lamb, Jaden Reed, Pickens, and Waddle. Not bad.
CeeDee's good.
CeeDee just, dude, he can compete. But so that league is my favorite. As far as, I like saying that. That's like my word. It's my go-to as far as.
As far as
Ron, what's next on the list? What are we talking about next? Huh? You
farts.
Farts.
Nobody wants to talk about farts.
Wow.
Let's do. Okay, AP, calm down. Breakout players.
What did he say?
My
You kidding me? Playoffs?
Okay, Mr. Dotem, salute to you. I'll cheers to that.
I'm hammered.
Boys, I'm hammered. That's what we're here for,
Mr.
baby. Girls and
Dotem,
beers.
stay in the
Cheers
chat.
to Mr. Dotem.
We're almost done. We got some stuff for you.
Ron pulls 8.
So, can I get a Ron pulls 8s in the chat?
Ron pulls 8.
Oh,
Mr.
we did. Jesus, thank you, very
No,
purple
but-
rain. You're a boss.
You got to do the emote. Oh, we don't have the emote yet.
Yeah,
We do.
we were talking. We're gonna get a.
We
we're
do.
gonna get Ron pulls 8s.
Oh, we got. Well,
Oh, no, we got Wake Up, Ron.
it's in the
awake.
works.
I
It's
ain't
in the
falling
works.
asleep ever fucking again.
Hey! Watch the language.
Sorry. Anyways, we're on to breakouts. I hit mine last week, MHJ. Mine this week is Brandon Ayuk against the Los Angeles Rams. Deebo's hurt. And the Rams crapped the bed last week. I think Ayuk finally becomes the focal point of the offense and the game plan for this week. Still no CMC. Yeah. They paid him all this money in the offseason. I think they're gonna I think Kyle Shanahan is gonna focus on getting him the ball. But
You want to hear my breakout? It's like complete low end, bottom of the barrel breakout. He goes by the name of Jordan Whittington.
Oh.
He was getting comparisons to, like, legit. A lot of the beat writers were saying, could this guy be the next Puka Nacua? Like, he plays on the same team. He's legit the same size. The dude is very shifty. We all know Stafford likes to feed the ball to one person. Jordan Whittington, I have him in 3 leagues right now, maybe 4. And I'm stoked. He could be a stud, like legit for 8 weeks with Nacua and Koopa.
here's
Cooper
a
Kupp
question.
out.
Is Cup washed?
No. When he plays, he's fine, but he just can't stay healthy. So yeah, maybe.
Right.
That you know what that
He's not washed, but
it kind of hurts.
can
So
he stay on the field?
can we talk about a trade that Ron and I discussed for 2 years when we first?
2 years ago.
But yes, but
Right?
2 years in a row. The first year we started our league, I drafted Cup in the 4th, and you drafted Chase in the 6th. And this was the year
Yep.
that Cup went off. He won the Triple Crown, and we were talking about it. It's like
This was Chase's rookie year, just for
Yeah.
reference.
yes. I was like, I'll trade you straight up Cup for Chase, but then I was like, I can't even do it because Cup was the best wide receiver in the league,
Right.
and now they both suck. So just kidding.
At least one of them's not hurt.
Jauan, do you have a breakout? Can you come up with a breakout?
I have a breakout.
Okay.
So this player has already broken out last year, right?
This
he
is,
needs a-
but when we say
needs-
breakout, this is just a week-to-week basis.
Okay, well, this player needs a breakout this year. He needs to show that he has an important role on this team. I think they're trying to figure out how to get him the ball since they had one of the biggest acquisitions at wide receivers this offseason. I'm talking about the Texans, and the wide receivers Tank Dell. I have a feeling that, and again,
That's
this
a
is
hot
a
take
little
and a
bit.
breakout.
This is a little bit of, again, Viking knowledge, but Bryce Flores is looking like he's got a scheme that really puts a lot
Brian.
of pressure. What?
Yeah.
What did I say?
Brian.
You said
Bryce
Bryce. but it's
Flores?
Brian.
Bryce Flores?
He
No,
went-
Brian Flores. B-Flow. I think B-Flow, first of all, he's going to know that there's there's 2 players that he's going to have to watch out for. Diggs and Nico, right? Because right now, everybody, I think, agrees that's the 1 and 2. So
Yeah.
I think Dell has an opportunity to maybe give CJ Stroud some, third down completions and maybe a deep ball or two. Like, the reason why I drafted Dell is I truly thought that he was going to be the next like Hill-like receiver where he's really fast, he gets bombs, and he showed a lot of that last year. So let's hope he breaks out this week.
Can
But
I give you a comparison for Tank Dell?
sure,
Tyler Lockett. I think he's more shifty. Anyways, sorry. It just.
I think the stupid run where he got injured, where they were on the goal line or whatever, and they put a 180-pound player around key linemen in O-line, not a good idea. He's lighter than me, so yeah, I think the coach should be held accountable for that.
Hey, Mr. Dotem, can I get a Jalvin post threes in the chat?
Jesus. I mean, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about Tank Dell this year? I'd like your honest opinion because Nico's playing well. Diggs is playing well. I think Dell is playing well. He's just not getting opportunities.
Unless there's an injury, he's only going to be a wide receiver 3.
He's
going to have some
ooh,
games where he's wide receiver
you
2.
pull Jalvin,
Point
you
threes.
pull point threes. Yikes.
Is that
tell your wife that.
Is that the BAC of Mr. Dotem right now?
Point 3. I think I said it earlier in one of our earlier videos that we did tonight. Tank Dell is going to be a boomer bust player this year. I think when you got Nico, so far this year he's proven to be the alpha, and you have Stephon Diggs, who has been a top 10 wide receiver the past 4 or 5 years. He's just third in that pecking order, man, and like he might end up, who knows what happens with Diggs in the next 2-3 years.
He's great for dynasty.
Yeah, he could end up being the number 2 guy in this team in a year or two. But with Diggs on this team right now, he's the third best option. I think he's going to be a boomer bust player. He's going to have weeks where they don't game plan for him, and he is going to have great games. But I think that is all he's going to be right now, is that boomer bust guy. He's got the talent to put up big numbers. We've seen it. We saw it last year before his injury. But now that they've added Diggs, I wouldn't expect a whole lot from him to be consistent on a week-to-week basis.
His last 4 games, he finished, so week 9 through week 12 of last year, okay? And then he got injured week 13. In order, he finished wide receiver 1, wide receiver 11, wide receiver 3, wide receiver 20. So he had a span, right before his injury, he had a span of 4 games where he was a true wide receiver 1. And I know that it's just a problem of like too many mouths to feed, and that's a good problem if you're a Houston fan, right? Like,
right,
too many weapons. But I'd almost start feeling like one of those guys would want to be traded or something, because it's like, I want to eat. I want to, especially Tank, like he wants to build his rookie contract. And
well, okay, Tank is in his second year. He has no ground. He has no ground to stand on asking for a trade. He is under contract. I don't think. But was he undrafted or was he a late round pick?
He was like a 5th round pick, I think.
Okay, and I'm pretty sure Nico was a late round pick too. And Stephon Diggs, I think he's fine where he's at, knowing that he's on a team that can probably contend for a Super Bowl legitimately for the next 2-3 years.
Yeah.
I totally think that Diggs is cool. Even if Diggs did end up becoming like the third option on this team,
he's going to get touchdowns.
Right. Well, we've seen his competitive nature. I think he wants to win. We've seen it. He thought he was going to get that in Buffalo.
Yeah, and he didn't.
I don't know. And he didn't. But, this is one of those things like Jalvin said where there's a lot of mouths to feed. And
Ron, can we get to our breakouts quick? Or I'm sorry, our hot takes.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you got for the hot takes? What are your 2 hot? So your player and your game. What are your hot takes?
My player hot take: Carson Steele rushes for 100 yards and a touchdown this week.
I hope so.
And
I picked him up.
yeah, me too. I got
I
him
used
in the league.
2 number 1 waivers on him this past week. 2.
Hopefully, I think I did too. I think actually, I think one of my leagues I picked him up in was Fab, but
Yeah, you had the. We both bet the same, but you had the higher waiver.
mm-hmm.
What underdog
And
do you got?
my underdog hot take, sticking with the Vikings. I picked them last week to beat San Francisco, and I think they stay hot. And I have them. My hot take is that they beat Houston by 10 plus points.
Wow. So prediction on score.
Jalvin, can I get a skull?
Oh.
You're weak. I got it. I don't even care.
I'm clipping that on TikTok.
Can I get it?
Hey, real quick. Is this a revenge game for Diggs?
It is.
Oh yeah.
Does he go off?
No, I think Flores is gonna hyper focus his ass.
Oh yeah.
He's
Hey,
the
watch
most
your language.
experienced out of. He's the most experienced weapon, right? Because he's older than Akers,
Jalvin.
Stroud,
Watch your
Nico,
language.
and Tank, right?
Language.
Yeah.
Did I swear?
Yeah, that's okay.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, you swore?
Hey, no swearing.
Mr. Dotem said, "Oh, F it.
Yeah.
Let it rip."
Let it rip.
In about
So, anyways,
3 minutes,
what
you
did he
can
let
swear
rip?
as much as you want.
I think
My-
Flores is a smart enough coach that he realizes that he's got to take away the experience, and the most experienced offensive weapon on the Houston Texans is Diggs, right? Like he's gonna know what he's doing out there. He's played in this building, you know.
Yeah.
My hot takes. So I got this is the hottest of the hots. This is a spicy take.
You're so hot.
You know who else is hot, Ron? Bo Nix.
Me, because I pull ace.
What?
No. Okay, for real though. For real. I want to get this
Oh,
done.
you think Bo Nix is hot too?
For real. I got the Giants taking down the Browns as a 6.5 point underdog. Okay, they're gonna take them down, and then secondly, Jackson Smith and Jigba JSN goes over 100 yards and gets in the end zone. He's gonna go off. Jalvin, do you have any hot takes?
Sure. So these are like bold predictions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got one. I've already talked about this player tonight. So again, we play in a league that has 7 IDP positions, and one of them is defensive end. And this guy, based on our scoring, I mean, he has, more than 10 tackles, 4 sacks. He's schemed to attack the quarterback, and again, yeah, I bleed purple and gold. Pat Jones is going to get another sack and a half this week, and people are going to start talking about him as like the new Daniil, And then on offense, I don't know if this is a hot take, but like it's something that I've just kind of stuck on, and I think Downs on the Colts is gonna come back and possibly take away a lot of Pierce's work, because we saw Pierce blow up this year, but Downs is healthy and he had a pretty good. He was like the next tier of rookies, like not the top tier, but he played well for a rookie last year, and he's coming back and he's healthy. So I think it's something we should talk about next week is who. And Pittman is hurt too, so like, who's going to step up? Is Pierce going to have 3 good weeks in a row, or is Downs going to come back and show why he was drafted higher and why he was really involved in their attack last year?
My only thing to bounce back on is Richardson. I don't know if he can. He's got the talent. He's fifth overall in the real draft, but we'll see. It's a hot take, so I'm for it. Do you guys have anything else you want to discuss tonight? Friday night with the bros?
Yeah, let's talk about tight ends a tiny bit more, because a lot of people are struggling there. There's people like me who have Evan Ingram playing on Monday or not, and there's a chance they're not going to call him out till then. There's Kelsey, who's had
a decision.
2 crappy weeks in a row, and he's not really involved anymore because now there's Worthy and Rice has stepped up as the alpha. Who else? Kincaid, has he done anything this season?
Laporta hasn't done anything.
We need to figure out what the hell's going on with the tight end position and how we can take advantage of the situation. Again, I'm trying to tackle it in a way that, let me find an average tight end and hope he gets a touchdown. That's my plan.
So here's my advice. Don't sit Kelsey. Pacheco's out now. They're going to have to rely on Mahomes more. And he's going to go through his comfort guy, which is Kelsey.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be the guy he used to be.
I agree. Without a running game, Kelsey is that short comfort guy for Mahomes. Without Pacheco, he might be their secondary running game. So I agree with Nick on that.
As far as Kincaid, I'm not worried. Laporta, a little worried because Jameson Williams is starting to come alive. Pitts, I'm extremely worried. I have no confidence in him. Bowers, he's going to be good. Kittle's out.
Is Kittle officially out?
Yes. He's doubtful, but he's out.
Okay. Doubtful is pretty much out. I don't even know why. It should just be questionable and out. But I think you talked about Pitts. I think it's been so up and down with the pass catches for Atlanta so far, and I think that has a lot to do with Kirk being new. I think they're 1-1, but I think it could be slow going for the pass catchers for Atlanta. Kyle Pitts is just too talented. I don't know, man.
Who's the backup tight end on the 49ers? Do we need to talk about...
That's a good question.
Do we need to talk about this man as a sleeper? Because if Kittle is doubtful, he didn't practice Thursday or Friday, right? So he's most likely out. Purdy likes to throw to his tight end. So who's the backup on the 49ers? Because this might be a super easy pickup and just... between Jauan Jennings and the backup tight end, one of these guys is going to eat, right?
Could it be Juszczyk?
Ooh.
Let me see.
Juszczyk gets used in a lot of different ways where he could end up being the guy that fills in for Kelsey. We know Juszczyk.
You mean Kittle?
Kittle.
I said Kelsey, didn't I? I meant Kittle.
I don't see
anybody.
George Kittle, technically.
If somebody could tell me who the backup tight end is for the 49ers.
Technically, it's Eric Saubert. He's in his 7th year. Not worth
Juszczyk.
it.
If Kittle is out, Juszczyk is getting slotted right in, and I bet Juszczyk sees a huge uptick in snaps played.
I bet we just see more targets for Ayuk and Jennings.
100. Yeah, I agree.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they even get Jordan Mason involved in the pass game a little bit. Tight end has been a tough position to crack this year. What's
your strategies this year, though? What are you guys doing if you're one of those teams that has a tight end that you put a lot of draft capital in but hasn't paid off, or a guy that's not even getting targeted and you're looking for something in free agency or waivers? What is your goal right now if you're searching for tight end? Are you looking for a trade? Are you gonna just hope to hit in the with waivers?
My hope right now is that I spent a fourth round pick or higher on Laporta and Kelsey in multiple leagues. I have Kelsey on more than one team, and I have Laporta on more than one team. My hope is they just start getting used more. We know they're good. It's just a matter of like when are they actually going to start getting used? You know. Yeah, I don't know.
All right, guys, that's enough for
They're too good not to get used, and
that's enough for our Sunday
I think
night
it's a matter of
preview.
time before they start
We have
before they
plenty.
start actually getting involved in this offense, and hopefully it's sooner rather than later.
We have plenty of content to go over. We're gonna have many more videos coming up soon. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on the video. Like always, if you comment any fantasy football related question, we will answer it in our next video. If you subscribe, you will get notifications on when we go live or when we post videos. And like always, join us again on Bros and Beers. More football stuff coming. Good night, everyone.
Peace.